Welcome, everybody, to this WWE Payback 2016 review brought to you by russosbrand.com. My name is Jeff Lane. If you are unfamiliar with me, I co-host a few of Vince Russo's The Brand shows on PodcastOne and the RELM Network, and you can get all the information on those shows over at russosbrand.com. Vince is also doing a review of the show at Wrestling Inc. Please check that out. Zach Eisenstein was supposed to be joining me tonight for this review, but he did have a last-minute conflict pop up that he couldn't get out of, so I'll be handling this solo tonight. The pre-show, I'll just touch on that real quick. We had Dolph Ziggler over Baron Corbin with the most devastating move in wrestling today, the schoolboy roll-up, and Kalisto defended the U.S. title against Ryback successfully. Interesting. Ryback took a shot at CM Punk in the entranceway. I thought that was kind of amusing. But, this match, in my opinion, this exemplifies why professional wrestling is losing customers every single week. This is just silly wrestling. It's illogical. Kalisto keeps beating Ryback. You look at the size difference. It's just, it's laughable to people when they see stuff like this. The casual fans that have been leaving in droves. Of course, I'm not talking about the diehards who eat this stuff up. But to me, it really, there was two instances in this match that just, I was shaking my head at the whole time. And the first one was when Ryback was on the floor and Kalisto did his jump off the ropes to the outside and did this spin. Ryback standing there forever waiting for him and then puts his arms out to actually catch him. That's not wrestling, folks. That's gymnastics. If that's what you like, that's great. But, that's not professional wrestling. That's why people, like I said, they leave every single week, turn off their TVs. And the finish just blew my mind. I mean, it really shouldn't have. I should expect this now in wrestling. But you have Ryback do this absolutely devastating gorilla press slam off the top rope to Kalisto, and then he gets up and hits his finish, totally no selling the fact that he just got plastered. This is why people laugh at wrestling. This is why people say wrestling is stupid, because this match, this finish was absolutely stupid. And, we need people to come back and teach these people how the business is supposed to be. The old timers need to come back, teach these people how to sell, teach these people how to make a match make sense, especially a finish. This was just absolutely stupid. On to the pay-per-view. New Day opened up with the promo. And then we have Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. This match was stopped very quickly because of a serious injury to Enzo Amore. Prayers go out to him. Word is, at the time of this recording, he has a concussion. All other tests were negative, so hopefully that's all good for Enzo. To me, it looked like when he was going out of the ring, he was kind of caught between a double decision. He didn't know if he was going to slide under the bottom rope or jump over it. And I think he just kind of got caught in between, and that's how, the injury occurred. But no finish to this match. Kudos to, the medical staff for getting out there quickly, getting Enzo out of there. And, you really can't do much at this point. The main thing here is Enzo's health. So I'm sure, they'll have this a result for this match on Raw, or they'll do another match or something. But, the main thing here is Enzo's health. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn was next. I didn't see anything different in this match. It just looked like the same match to me that we've seen over and over when these two are in it. Same moves, same stuff. So, it wasn't boring by any means, but I didn't see anything new in it. Owens wins with the pop-up powerbomb. He calls Byron Saxton in the ring, makes him ask him about beating Sami Zayn. I thought that was kind of entertaining. Owens just selling the fact that, yes, I've defeated this man. I've defeated my nemesis. I liked that. And then he goes on to commentary for the Intercontinental title match, which was next. Miz versus Cesaro. Sami Zayn comes back out. He attacks Kevin Owens, jumps over the commentary table. They start brawling during the match. Listen, crowd, if you're going to count these giant swings, learn how to count, because they're not even counting rotations. They're not even counting in sync with the spins. They're just counting numbers. And it's just, learn how to count, because you counted like 22. In reality, he did about 14 or 15 spins. That type of stuff's stuff bothers me. I don't know. It's my OCD. But Owens and Zayn end up continuing their brawl. They get up on the apron. The referee gets tied up with them, and the Miz is tapping out while the ref doesn't see it. So Cesaro gets up, knocks both Owens and Zayn to the floor, and then Miz, the schoolboy, roll up again, the most devastating move in wrestling. At least they had him pull the tights, and Miz gets the win, retains the title. I'm okay with that. I like the Miz right now. I think the Miz and Maurice are the most entertaining things on Raw. I always love a good heel Intercontinental Champion. If you look over history all the way, for me anyway, growing up, the Honky Tonk Man. But I always feel like a long heel Intercontinental title run is a good thing for the WWE, and I think Miz is the one to pull that off. Jericho versus Ambrose. Ambrose went over, which I agree with that decision. But, Jericho throws a fit after the match. This really did nothing for me. I mean, the whole storyline going into this was arguing over who has a better talk show, potted plants. I mean, there could have been a way better story here, so I just didn't I wasn't emotionally invested in this match. Charlotte versus Natalya was next. Bret Hart is at the ring with Natalya. Ric Flair is out there with Charlotte as usual. I thought the girls had a really good match. I thought Charlotte did this moonsault off the top into a perfect pin, and stuff like that just looks beautiful for me when they can hit that so perfectly right into the pin. I don't know, that I thought that was great. The finish, look, you got to explain this, and hopefully we'll get the explanation tomorrow night. But who's Charles Robinson is the one doing the screw job here. Okay, he does the reenactment of the Montreal screw job, of course, because Bret's there. So he calls for the bell. Natalya never tapped. She was in the sharpshooter by Charlotte. So this is what we need at this point. Why is Charles Robinson doing this? Did Stephanie tell him to do it? Did Shane tell him to do it? Did Vince tell him to do it? Is Little Nate back and he's rejoining Flair? Give us some type of explanation, because otherwise this is just wonky and absolutely stupid that Charles Robinson is doing this. So, normally I would say, yes, give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll get the explanation tomorrow. It will all make sense, but recent track records show that that's not the case. So hopefully we do get an explanation, because this just didn't make any sense at this point in time. Bret gets in the ring, puts the sharpshooter on Flair. Natalya puts the sharpshooter on Charlotte. Crowd's happy. This is where Vince McMahon comes out and he's going to make the decision who is going to run Raw, Stephanie or Shane. Of course, we're in Chicago, so we got to chant CM Punk. Okay. Vince mentions the Attitude Era was one of his favorite eras. If that's the case, why are we getting what we're getting, the trash we're getting now? But that's a story for another day. Stephanie comes out first. She pleads her case, and she goes on way too long. Totally lost the crowd. They start chanting boring. I don't blame them at this point. It just was too much. Shane comes out next, and he goes through all these headlines that have popped up to plead his case recently about the new changes on Raw. He's the one that should be leading. Raw's getting better, blah, 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 blah. So now we got Stephanie's case laid out, Shane's case laid out. Vince decides that they're both going to be running Raw, and they both have equal say. And then they shake hands. I don't have an issue with this at all, because to me, if done correctly, this just throws a whole bunch of good story that we can have. Again, it's all in how they tell that story. Are they going to make it a good story, or is it going to be boring and unentertaining? So this sets up a possibility for good stuff. That's why I don't have an issue with it. Can something good come out of this? The answer is yes. I think it can be entertaining. Shane and Stephanie trying to run at the same time. So we'll see how that goes. Main event, AJ Styles against Roman Reigns. I love the flying forearm through the table. I thought that was a great spot. Styles wins by a count out. Shane McMahon comes out and he says the match is not a title match is not going to end this way now. He restarts the match with no countouts. So crowd loves this. Match continues. I really like this. The referee ends up DQing Roman next because of a low blow. And then this is where it went from something really cool to something really hokey and silly, in my opinion. Now Stephanie comes out and she restarts it with no DQ. Like, once was cool. The second time it was just silly, and you could see it coming. Come on, like now it's getting ridiculous. They could have done this just with the one restart. If Stephanie wanted to upstage Shane, which was the point here, when Roman got counted out and Shane comes out and says, okay, no countouts. Stephanie could have come out right there and said, not only is there no countouts, but there's no DQ. That would have accomplished the same thing, and it wouldn't have had a silly second false finish. At this point now, Gallows and Anderson come out. They assault Reigns in the ring. Later on, the Usos come out and they attack. I don't know, why they're so late. This is the type of stuff that doesn't make sense to me, and it's, well, this is wrestling, and that's your explanation. You would figure the Usos would be on standby waiting for these guys to attack Roman so they could, defend him. I mean, what are they doing at this point during the main event? Are they backstage playing euchre? I mean, why does it take them so long to come out and attack and go after Gallows and Anderson? Because it's wrestling. That's why. It doesn't make any sense. Ends up, they brawl away. Reigns ends up getting the win with the spear. So it's just a finish. We don't know. Was AJ in with Gallows and Anderson? We don't know. I mean, can we get a swerve at a pay-per-view? Can we get a surprise ending? Can we get some type of new story development that make these shows entertaining? The finish, we go off the air. We can't wait for Raw. Holy crap. Did this just happen? Did AJ Styles really team with these guys? I mean, give us something. Give us some type of new story. But no, we still don't know anything new. The match ends with Reigns just going over with a spear. He's still champion. Boring. We see afterwards a quick shot of Stephanie, Shane, and Vince in front of the monitor. And at this point, they decide that AJ gets his rematch at Extreme Rules next pay-per-view, which is like 3 weeks away. Again, boring. It's the creativity is not there. I mean, can we just get creative, please? Okay, now there's just a rematch. They both agree. Okay, no big deal, right? So I don't know, man. This was an okay pay-per-view. A lot of things were just silly to me, boring. Again, it comes down to what are we going to see on Raw? We go through this every single pay-per-view. What are they going to do next on Raw? What are they going to do next? So Shane and Stephanie both running Raw. If they come out in the opening segment, cut a promo, lay out the entire night and go away and we don't see him again, then who cares? They need to be there for the whole entire 3 hours. Back and forth, arguing over stuff, agreeing over stuff, making their own matches, jumping in. From 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock, Stephanie and Shane need to be on the entire show. So please do that, WWE. Give us a good story. Give us an entertaining Raw. I don't like, again, the setup for Extreme Rules. It's just another Extreme Rules match. It's a rematch, and we still don't know anything new. So if they're just going to do the same storyline for the next 3 weeks and extend it till Extreme Rules, to me, that's lame. That's boring. I wish they would have done something tonight to change the story. Maybe they'll do it tomorrow night. I don't know. But that's it for Payback. Again, please check us out, russosbrand.com. Check us out on PodcastOne 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Coming up this week on video on the RELM Network, you get it a day earlier. The next day, it will be on audio on PodcastOne. Vince has Mickey James on Vixens Who Rule. He's got Jerry Ferrara, Turtle from Entourage, on the Swerve. Vince and I will be discussing the July 27th, 1998 episode of Raw, and of course, Bucket Full of Chicken Necks, Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Dirt, where Vince, myself, and Andre will discuss all the news for the week. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Again, if you want to see Vince's review of Payback, it is up over at WrestlingInc.com. Follow me on Twitter, please, at JeffLane22. I am Jeff Lane. Everybody have a good night. Thank you.